Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Minecraft FTB. We're still here in the Twilight Forest and today we're going to go find whatever that thing is. That really tall pillar looking thing. So we haven't really done anything since the last time. I literally walked from that side of the river to this side of the river and I'm over here now. So we're going with it. Just recording in smaller increments just that way I can be able to render and upload everything in a very quick and timely manner. Be able to make things a little bit more episodic. Also, because render time is kind of slow when you're actively playing, I'm going to just go ahead and pause, which causes everything to pop in, as you can see right there. Now, I suppose since we're passing by a couple of these little hollow hills, I should go ahead and show you guys one. Now, a hollow hill is usually pretty evident from above ground. It's kind of just a big dome-shaped structure. Also, right here, I'm passing under one of the nice Twilight Forest trees. The hill should be right around here somewhere. This one doesn't look like it's nearly as evident. Maybe it's something else on the mini-map entirely than what I'm thinking it is. Nope, there it is. It's got to be that. So I'm going to go ahead and let that render. As you can see, it just makes everything go so much quicker if you render from a pause screen. There is a house right over there. We'll also get to that here in a moment. Now, occasionally you see these little spike things coming out of the ground made out of stone. This one just happens to look like a really high back chair, and that is exactly what everyone was going to say about that chair. But whenever you encounter like a large dome shaped area, the majority of the Twilight world is pretty flat. You don't get extreme hills like you do in regular Minecraft, but whenever you do get like a really round hill, it's usually hollow like this. Now you can also hear some little goblins and stuff in here. Should be seeing it right there. So down there we've got some enemies. There's a goblin or a gnome or something down there, as well as some spiders. I'm just going to light this up right here. I'm also going to turn off my gravitation engine. This is going to be a little rough when I hop down here, so bear with me, guys. I do not really want to die after coming this far. Especially after all this equipment. But as you can see here, they do spawn glowstone naturally in here. Roots, spiders, just the whole shebang. We got these little elephant-looking people. That one dropped wheat. We got some weird laughing going on. We got these little guys. The boots are mine, apparently, because these guys are like little gnomes wearing boots, I guess. I don't know what the reference is. Right here, we just mined up some something. There we go. It looks like live root. I know that is used in some recipes, but let's. I don't think I can look at it right now. Live roots. Well, these little guys don't even hurt me. They just kind of walk up to me. U for implementation. Live root makes raw ironwood materials, which those are used to make ironwood ingots, which are used to make the armor and the weapons. Very cool. Now, from what I understood, I thought ironwood was basically the same strength and capacity as iron, but slightly more durable. I could be mistaken on that. Now, I honestly haven't looked up the stuff on ironwood just because I'm wearing better. Why would I want to wear something that's going to be worse? Something that's obviously doesn't require nearly the resources of what I'm using. It doesn't let me fly, doesn't let me do all this awesome stuff that I can do. Give me those boots. Let's see here. Now sometimes you can get really lucky in places like this. Not only are you getting lots and lots of resources in here, but you also get chests. Occasionally I've seen a couple double chests in places like these before in the videos that I've watched, as well as in a test world that I fired up to try and figure this stuff out. Between last episode and this episode, so it's kind of just a massive treasure dungeon to have here. The laughing sound that those guys make really kind of bother me though, so I'm happy to be rid of them. Is it these little guys that make the sound, or is it the other ones with the shoes? I don't know. If you guys happen to know which ones are making that really creepy sound, let me know in the comments below, because those guys really bother me and I need to exterminate them all. I don't think it's that guy, because he's like, now that one was crying. Or shooting water out of his face. I don't know what he was doing. Yeah, I think it's the little gnome-looking people here. Oh my goodness. Hang on, minimizing that in the background. There we go. Looks like that kicks up my frame rate slightly. I'm getting a lot of high CPU usage by the program in the background. Ooh, an ore magnet. Now these guys are cool. I was hoping I would actually get one of these because I could show it off. What an ore magnet does is it draws whatever ore to the surface, or closer to you, relatively speaking. So say if I was up on top side of the world and I wanted to just kind of aim in some general direction, the ore magnet pulls ores out from under the ground and pulls them up to a surface level. So if I hold this like this and I keep it held down with the right mouse button, it puts those little sparks out, and then when I right click, it pulls ore up to the top of the world. Now, depending on the distance and the amount of ore, it can pull up to 24 blocks of ore, but depending on how far away it is, it's also going to burn the magnet more so. So as you can see right there, the magnet's almost completely spent just from pulling up those 4 blocks of redstone. And there we pulled up a bit of cinnabar, and over here we pull up some uranium and iron, and now my magnet is gone. But it does make pulling things up a little bit easier, access some resources a bit quicker. I suppose it lasts a little longer in the Thaumcraft world, or not Thaumcraft world, the Twilight Forest world, because Twilight Forest is actually a much shallower world. As you can see right there in the upper right hand corner, I'm at floor 31. Normally on Minecraft you're at like 60 something, 60 to 70 something when you're at sea level, whereas this world is like at 35 at sea level, so it's very shallow. You don't have to dig down as far before you hit bedrock. I've seen some really shallow ravines that had basically bedrock right there at the bottom, and they weren't that deep, so they went right from surface to bedrock in one ravine. Go ahead and kick my gravitation engine back on, and we will continue heading in a direction that is favorable to where I wanted to be. Ooh, what is that over there? Oh, that's a Naga Den. Sweet. Or not a Naga Den, it's a Naga garden. Also, I mentioned that we were going to have a look at these houses. Now, these houses are skeletal druid houses. They are not anything super special. They will not give you any kind of loot. They are simply here to give you a challenge when you're roaming the world of Twilight Forest. So you'll basically come across one of these little guys with the stair steps, wood roof, cobblestone and mossy stone sides, and then they spawn these little skeletons that poison you and carry around golden hose. So that's kind of what those guys are. There's not a whole lot of point to them, like I said, but I suppose you could farm some experience off of them or something like that. They're just kind of there to give you a little challenge, a little encounter as you roam around the world. Now you'll also see goats out here. These little goats or sheep things are basically sheep from the other world. Oh, that actually reminds me. I missed one of the things back there in one of the chests. I recall in the chest with the ore magnet there was some transformation powder. Transformation powder links certain types of creatures from this world into their normal world variants, and vice versa. So you could go back to the overworld and turn your sheep into the horned sheep like these guys, or you could turn your cows into deer, stuff like that, pigs into boars. Really basic stuff like that. Alright, so that's the thing. Let's hit escape to let it render. Ooh. Another one of the obsidian totem things. That face. Just going to kind of take this guy with me here. If I can. Gotta drop something, spider eye, there we go. Whoop. Hopping out of there. Very good. Oh my god. Alright, so this is one of the dark towers that I was referring to. These guys are not finished. So anything that you see in one of these guys is not the finalized product according to the wiki spaces for the for the mod developer. These things just typically have lots and lots of rooms, lots of side chambers, and have lots of room for basically getting loot. But I don't think they actually have a lot of point beyond loot giving. So let's turn on our gravitation engine, kind of pop over here. And there we have the disappearing blocks. Now these guys will reappear after a few seconds if they are outdoor facing one. So say I right click on this one, it pops the blocks away, and then it leaves this little square grid here, and then when they go green they refill. So that's kind of what those do. If it's an interior one like that, they just do that. There are some that are locked and they have a little vertical indication of being locked. So as you can see here, these just kind of go back out into, looks like the forest here. That was fun and clever of myself to try and go through the door as it was probably about to close. So these places will spawn lots and lots of enemies. I know that they have a lot of work in progress enemies here. Things like gas and some bugs that are kind of a pain in the butt, like these Pincer Bugs. The pinch bugs, I guess. They have like a massive pincher on the front end, and they will pick you up and fling you about while also dealing damage to you. I think I ended up trying to do those with iron armor on a test world, and they more or less kicked my butt all the time. They might be a little bit more weaker against, like, good time to blank on words here. Weaker against the ironwood armor, but I can't prove that. I don't know that for a fact. Now this little guy, this one's called like an anti-builder. I'm not exactly sure what that means. It just shoots out these little redstone glows all over the place, and of course we have a little redstone lamp system right there and over there and over there. But these little guys are called tower builders. Now they're kind of unique, and I played around with a few of these, and I couldn't really determine if they're working properly. They're still a work in progress according to the wiki. But what they do is they travel in the direction that you're looking at. So if I flip the lever and I look in this direction, you're going to see that little red path there go straight, and then it'll go forward, and then go straight, and then go that way, then go up, and then go that way. And they have a certain distance that they will actually travel before they stop, or if they run into an object, they'll stop. As you can see, I've made it all the way over here to this little thing by using the little pathway that I just built out on those guys. Now, I guess technically I don't even need that path because I can just do this, but it was only fair to at least show you guys exactly what it does, so you can come out here and do this on your own in the event that you're not already decked out with all this fancy pants gear. Now it looks like that little platform over there is the one that we're supposed to be on in order to be able to reach the mid. So I'm just going to kind of do this. And as you can see, it just gave me a nice neat little bridge, and then they'll turn green after a couple seconds and kind of fade away. Very clean, very easy. And actually, even though this is the way up, it looks like it's blocked. So I'll just pop that. Come on up here, get hit by a spider. Kill the pincher bug. Those guys always bother me because I'm like, oh man, I'm about to get just absolutely crushed by this bug, and I kind of shut up because I don't want to miss him, because then I'll get flung about and I can't hit him at all and I'll destroy half the world. And also here we have a ghast lighting the wooden floor on fire like a professional, sir. I just kind of toss some stuff that I don't need here. I guess I really don't need the shards of minium, but I'm still trying to determine what all I need to toss. Toss that, toss that, toss that, toss that. This, and I guess I'll hang on to everything else for now. Place that. And as you can see, these guys are basically gas. They do drop blaze powder though. Now these are the ones I believe are the quote locked keys. As you can see, if I try right clicking on this, it does nothing. And I also cannot break through it, but I can break through the block adjacent to it. So That's good design work, I suppose. By good design work, I mean ironic. Now, there is no boss to this place, so I could basically leave anytime I'm tired of being in here. But I do know that the gas drop gas tiers, so I'm going to take advantage of that while I'm here, and I could be able to make some potions or something later on. Also, gas screams ridiculous. So yes, this is kind of one of the more adventure-y bits of the Twilight mod. Now, if you go out through this, it kind of locks behind you, and you can also be attacked by full-size gas out here. But as you can see, this thing goes quite high. Go ahead and fly up a little bit. I don't know if there's like gas spawners somewhere around here, or if they're just programmed to spawn in proximity to this place. But as you can see, this place is massive. These are all jump puzzles or pillar puzzles where you have to climb up a set of pillars and kind of work your way around. They're not too difficult. Most of them are actually pretty easy. Or they're options with the little tower builders like I was doing just before flying out here. Now it looks like I'm going to get bombarded because I stopped for half a second. I'm going to pop my way in here and have a look. Alright, now in this particular chest we have some steel leaves, which are used to make steel leaf armor, as well as a charm of keeping. Now the charm of keeping is kind of unique in what it does. Ooh, encased tower wood. How do you make that? I don't know. Tower wood planks, I don't know how to make that either. You can use it as fuel. Alright. The charm of keeping, what it does is it gives you the capacity that when you die, you will retain your items in inventory. Not all of the items, but many of the items. That was a nice quick switch right there. I was like, oh, there's a creeper. Occasionally you'll just find towers that are like this, where they're just literally a vertical pillar with back and forth motions. I was looking for one of the ones with the wooden pillars to show you guys, because those are kind of neat. The charm of keeping will destroy some of your inventory, but it will also retain some of your inventory. So you keep some stuff on you and you lose other stuff like you would normally lose when you die. But you know, stuff doesn't actually get lost when you die, it just drops on the ground. This kind of just keeps it in your inventory. And this is one of the little pillar puzzles like I was telling you about. These are pretty simple. If they're in one of the main pillars, one of the central pillars, they can be really tough because they get a lot bigger and they put in golem spawners, like iron golems that are naturally hostile. Also, this is a bit crazy. Look at that. Look at that. You fall out of this, you fall down far. These towers are massive. Right now we're at floor 222 or layer 222 on the world, so it's really high up. This would have been the next layer that we were on. And of course, as you saw just a moment ago, creepers falling down are a very, very real threat. If I hadn't been wearing armor, that would have been lights out, or if I hadn't been of a more presence of mind, that would have also just been me falling to my death. Oh, we got a diamond, look at that. I'm going to toss those in there. It looks like that's not even a named wood. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's dark wood. That's a little repetitive additive. Take the paper and take the diamond. And I'm just going to kind of cut my way out the side here. Whee! Splat. Okay. Alright, and so that was the Dark Tower, which is actually, as I said, kind of a work in progress as far as I'm aware. So it's not finalized by any stretch of the imagination, and now we know what it looks like on the minimap as well. So next we're going to go over here, and we're going to finish this episode off right with a boss fight. Fighting one of the Nagas over here. Now, one thing that I would like to find is a Hydra Den, and I haven't actually seen one of those. We are flying over just one of the really dark, twilighty forests. These places are, you know, just really, really dark underneath. They're a breeding ground for a lot of really big monsters. You can find giant spiders in there. Like, when I say giant spiders, I mean like double or triple the size of a regular Minecraft spider. We'll probably poke in on those when we're trying to find a labyrinth as well. Well, let's see. This one, it's not inside the center of this. I was about to say, oh dear, I'll have to go inside the trees to find this one. That would be kind of a pain. But here we are. We are at a Naga's court. This is the only place in game that you can find this Naga Stone that they have right here. And as you can see, the boss bar for the Naga has appeared. And we also have our little pathway right here. This little pattern is the Naga Stone of which I just spoke. So we're just going to kind of poke our way in here, and there's the Naga. Kind of looks happy, doesn't he? Now, this is kind of like the Moldov bosses from, whatchamacallit, Legend of Zelda. They kind of get shorter as they get more and more damage. You know, the boss in the third dungeon of Link to the Past? Yeah, this is basically the same thing. He also kind of goes around and destroys stuff, so I'm sure that there's also other bosses that are equally good representations of this, but I always think of the one from Legend of Zelda because it's made up of little boxes, little balls, and they slowly wear their way off. And he also bounces around the room like a madman. Now, if you do need to flee from something like this when you're fighting it, you can just leave the arena, leave the garden, and he cannot follow you. He's basically bound within the garden. Even over there, you see where he's knocked out all that wall. He's not going to go any further than that. Or he shouldn't. Oh well, if you die, you can blame me when you're trying to run away and he still follows you, but I'm pretty certain that he's not going to. Anyway, this is also a significantly easier fight for myself because I'm using a Vajra and I also have perfect armor. This is like all this. But also you can see my gravity chest plate has been diminished quite substantially since I've been out here, since I've been fighting, doing all this good neat stuff. Now what he drops are Naga Scales. Now Naga Scales are used to produce Naga armor, Naga Scale armor. So if I hit you, that's going to bring up the little things that I can produce with it. A Naga Scale tunic, which comes with fire protection, as well as Naga Scale leggings with protection 3. This is really useful whenever you're wanting to go and fight a Hydra, because they do, in fact, breathe fire. Well, alright, that has been another episode of me doing Twilight Forest out here. I was like, what is up with this thing here? This is like black. Oh, and there's a boar. These guys just drop pork like a typical pig. And that is going to do it for this particular episode. Wanted to finish off with a boss, like I said. Be sure you guys tune in next time. We're going to continue exploring the Twilight Forest world, and we'll see if we can find up a couple other things. See if we can find a labyrinth, as well as maybe some larger hollow hills. Stay tuned. Oh, and of course a Hydra. Stay tuned. Been Warmac 9, and I will see you next time.